Hello everyone, welcome to Thrustzone.com. This is Mohit Soni. What you're looking at is the Skoda Kayak in absolute fresh daylight. We bought you the car from the static premiere. Now it is the dynamic premiere in Skoda terms. What that means is that we bought you the first story from the launch. Now we're out test driving the car. And what is this car all about? Well, our first impressions come from Goa. We have had a day with the car, driving it and understanding it and seeing it. So what is our first impression? Well, it is of course the most let's say the most anticipated car in this segment, because the sub 4 meter or the 4 meter category, very precisely, that's what the Kayak is all about, hasn't had a rival in a very long, a fresh entry into this segment in a very long time. So there are a lot of options in the market where the Kayak enters. And what does the Kayak offer? Well, it is based on the Kushaq, that is the mid-size segment SUV, and this is being dubbed as the mini Kushaq. But it has its own character in terms of design, and in many ways it has the strengths and everything associated with the Kushaq in the Kayak, but it still has its own character, and that pretty much begins with the design, and that's what I want to start with. As always, you've got this very nice sporty grille, which was the highlight of the Kushaq. It looked really nice. It looks very good here. The immediate first impression of the Kayak is that it feels it's a much more sportier and premium car in this segment, because Skoda also hasn't never really gone in the 4 meter segment, which they were there years ago with the Fabia, but that has nothing to do with this, and this is the entry into the 4 meter space. And right now the market dynamics have changed from what it was back almost a decade and a half ago. So this is Skoda's entry into the 4 meter segment, and this clearly shows that it's a premium car, because Skoda's entry plus this design and the butterfly grille, all of that does the job. You've got a very bright, nice LED DRL on this sunny day. You can really see it. It is not the case with many other cars. The DRL is not really visible. As you can see, it is still visible in direct sunlight, so that's quite good. You've got your fog lamps and headlamps here, and these are projector units, as you can see. We'll have to see how the light turns out to be once we get to ride it in the night, once it comes back to us for a road test. Right now, really love the side profile. It has that, I might be the only one saying this, it has that sort of Fabia look and feel because of the C-pillar, how it goes on the top. And I think that's how Skoda does small cars. So a lot of lineage is still present here, but at the same time, you've got big doors, a nice large amount of cladding, and the glass area is also quite good. So the proportions for glass, metal as well as cladding is really good. I don't really end up saying about cladding in certain in SUVs, but it's got the proportions just right. You've got these really good looking alloy wheels, but I'm not a fan of those tires, which we'll come to in a bit. At the back you can see again a very unique design, nothing to do with the Kushaq. You've got this nice black click running all over. You've got the Skoda badging here as well, because logos don't work in India. You need to let people know what this brand is. Even if you are in the country for 25 years, there is some way or the other where people don't really get that. And also to make things easier for people who know to know that this is the Skoda. I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of brands are doing this worldwide now. Since we are at the back, let's check out the boot. It is a massive 466 liters boot, which is phenomenal. Just see the length. The breadth is also good enough, and you've got a lot of space here to keep a lot of stuff, as you can see. So it can carry so much more despite what is kept here already. That's the reversing camera. Not really a fan of the quality of the camera on the inside, but that's it. Petrol, of course. Grab handles have this chrome applique on it. Let's get at the back. Sitting behind my own 511 driving position, this is the knee room that I have, and the leg room is good enough, but it does feel a bit narrow, but it is quite comfortable. The underthigh support is actually quite brilliant for my height, and the seat is also well inclined, so I am getting very good support, and I can also see myself sitting here for a very long time like this, so that's quite impressive. You've got your AC vents, you've got your charging point. These are actually C-type chargers. You've got an armrest. You don't easily get that in 4 meter cars, with cup can holders, 3 headrests, 3 pointed seat belts, and as you know, it was just announced a few days ago from this test drive that I'm doing right now. The Skoda Kayak scores a full 5-star rating for adult as well as child occupants. The points are 30 for the adult and 45 for the children. So that is an absolute brilliant thing. Coming back to the storage space, you've got space here and some space here to keep your phone or some other thing, but here you can store a lot of things. This is actually quite deep. You've got these massive door pads which provide you a lot of storage, and there is some space to keep some stuff here as well. I really like the new housing for the power windows here. They look really good. And you've got these lights which are now kept here. Usually we see these lights are here, but I think this is fantastic, and even this is angled to my end, so this will provide a really good ambience and light inside the cabin for people who are reading in the night. So that's actually quite brilliant. You've got this very nice sunroof, which is a small sunroof, but it seems to be slightly larger in terms of width over everybody else. Despite it being a normal size sunroof, it's not a panoramic one, but it is still big enough than most other cars who offer smaller sunroofs, so that this is also a good move. As you can see, it's still lending quite a lot of light here at the back, but of course panoramic sunroofs have suddenly started coming in the 4-meter space, so I guess Skoda will also improvise later. They have the technology. Keyless entry and go, push button start in my favorite location where only Skoda does it right. You've got electric seats on both sides at the front, so this is actually quite brilliant. And ventilation as well. So usually you get a manual adjustability on the passenger side, but here it's electric and ventilated as well, so that's quite good. Look at the door pad design for the window. This housing here, it actually looks quite good, quite unique. You've not seen that earlier. And this is the first look of the dashboard. This particular element that has been added to the Kayak here over the Kushaq, because it shares the dashboard to a certain extent from that car. This is made out of bamboo material, so this feels quite nice and it looks really great. Grey color is of course ideal for cars because in Indian conditions, that's for sure. And the colors chosen here are also quite good. You've got some rebuild effect here as well. A very big large glove box which is not illuminated but at least chilled, so that is a great move by Skoda. I'm already impressed with the passenger side being electric. This is truly fantastic. This is no limited edition. This is no any other edition. This is the top of the line variant. That is what you will get. So that's quite good. You've got your typical space here. Wireless charger is here. Charging points are here. 12-volt socket. It means that you can charge multiple items together with a 12-volt charger. And that is the small armrest. And it has the cubby inside. Is it adjustable? Yes, it is. So that's quite good. And you've got LED lights at the front and at the back as well, like I showed you earlier. So that is quite impressive. By sub 4-meter standards, it seems to have a lot of features on this car. Wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is here. This is the same infotainment system in terms of it we've seen in the Kushaq, but it has been updated. There is been added, the widgets are different, the colors are different, the fonts, the graphics are slightly different, but the overall layout is still the same. So, and this is actually a quite good layout. You've got your Waze navigation installed, which is actually a good one, much better than anything else in the market right now. But since it has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you can actually easily get this done, get it displayed on the screen. The sound system is good enough, and I think I enjoyed the sound quality of what was on offer. And like I told you, touch, response, graphics, fonts, layout, everything seems to be brilliant. And as you can see, everything just works right. You've got apps also to choose from, and you've got your vehicle consumption as well, and the Skoda Play apps, your apps you can download from the Play Store, which is actually also quite brilliant. Apart from that, the AC seems to be working very well. And this is the important part here. You've got a full instrument cluster that is a virtual cockpit in VAG group terms, and this is actually borrowed from the bigger cars that is seen here. So this is something that is quite impressive. It ups the premium quotient. You get everything on offer here. You can switch from the multiple screens that are on offer, and you've got an RPM meter pretty much in every screen. The 4 screens that are on offer, you can control everything like via from here. Audio or whatever you want to be displayed here, you can customize that quite brilliantly. So that's actually quite good. The steering, 2-spoke steering is brilliant. It is adjustable for rake and reach both, so which is brilliant. The typical headlight housing, button housing here, and again this also feels quite nice. The very cool looking door handles here are quite good. The AC vents are also typical Skoda and they look quite nice. Apart from that, The sunroof, like I showed you, the seats are nice, big and supportive even for my size, and this is actually quite brilliant. We are driving the 1 liter manual. This is the only engine that you get with an manual and automatic. We've just almost finished driving the manual, so let's start talking about the manual. I will put a different video for the automatic as well. I'll try my best, or I'll tell you about how the manual and automatic both drive. So let's get on to it. Guys, we're out driving the Skoda Kayak with the 1 liter petrol engine. That is the only option available with this car in a manual avatar, because there is the automatic as well, which we will drive very soon and let you know about it. Right now, let's talk about the engine mostly and this particular gearbox combination. This is an engine that makes 115 PS of power and 175 Newton meters of torque. These are very good numbers for this segment, in fact quite high than most of its rivals, or in fact just around them. So it's on par in the segment for sure. It is somewhere there in between, because somebody delivers 120, somebody delivers 115 like the Kayak, and somebody delivers 100, 110. So this is a very good number. This is one of the top two. So that is a good number indeed. The engine, very smooth, very refined, very quiet, surprisingly for a very small car. And of course it is your Skoda. It's a premium car. So what you get here is something that is, quite good. Low end and mid range is good. Very surprisingly, the low end definitely feels much better than the Kushaq and the Slavia as well, which shares this engine, because it is smaller, it is lighter by a good margin, not by a big margin. And this is something that helps it give that peppy nature, that fun to drive aspect that you always ask for from Skoda cars. And the Kayak sort of delivers even higher, because the short wheelbase, the short length, the lighter weight definitely makes the Kayak the most peppier car to drive, because the responses in this car are far more superior than the other two cars that they share their engine with. And this makes it a very good car indeed to live with on a daily basis. Low end torque is good, mid range is quite great, and navigating CVT is very good. As you can see, I'm just taking a U-turn, and the radius is also quite short. So the steering is also quite light. Mid range for the highway, top end for the highway is also very good. I can report that, because while driving on other limited sections of highway that Goa has, this felt completely natural. Didn't feel stressed, had enough overtaking power even after 120 kilometers an hour. So that's a very, very big plus. This is the car that you will really enjoy from the engine side as well, because there's a lot of power and torque throughout the rev range, and that is something that you don't achieve on a daily basis. The balance here is actually quite brilliant in terms of power. And when I was driving very sedately in the city, I got 12 kilometers to the liter, that is showing here, and I'm pretty sure on the highway it can reach 16 to 17 kilometers per liter as well. So that's a great thing in terms of fuel efficiency that you can expect. We'll try and test it for you when we get the car back at home. Obviously, we've just had a day with the car in Goa here, and in terms of fuel efficiency, in terms of refinement, in terms of power, it's quite good. And this is quite clearly one of the top 3 cars in this segment that drive this good overall altogether. So that is a balance packaging of ride and handling as well as engine. The engine, we know it was tried and tested, but it would be this good, I didn't anticipate, but it's here, and it's a great thing to have. Now jumping to the bigger part, the ride and handling, the ride quality on this car. Well, it is not like the Skoda Kushaq, which we sort of thought that that is going to be the highlight here. It rides very differently, and it is on the stiffer side. It is much more sportier than the Kushaq. I think Volkswagen Group Skoda has learned a lot from the suspension, and that is why they've done the highest amount of changes over the Kushaq. When you put it in comparison to it, I think the suspension has the biggest change, and the suspension is on the stiffer side at low to medium speeds. This is not going to be a problem, but when you encounter a big bump at those speeds, it is going to send a thud inside the cabin, and it is slightly muted and soft in the Kushaq, not here. So when Skoda has made sure that this is a 4-meter SUV, it is lighter and shorter, and everything is less than the Kushaq. They've upped the suspension to make sure that it retains as much as the balance that it can in terms of ride quality and handling. We've gone through a lot of bad roads as well, smooth ribbed roads, the concrete roads that we have in India, and the bouncing, the jitteriness was very less. So that's one of the biggest aspects that you need to talk about nowadays, because our roads are sort of in a dynamic mode where they keep on changing, and where concrete roads come into play. I can tell you that the jittery concrete roads are very well taken care of at all speeds from the Kailak. So that is a very good move, and that is the reason why you will enjoy this car. You will find this car comfortable, because a lot of it is not getting transferred inside the cabin, but you will feel that it is stiff, but it is not bone jarring at all. It is in that direction, it is very close to that, but it isn't going to be uncomfortable in any way. So that is Skoda just about getting it right. If it would have been slightly more stiffer, then it could have been a little bit more uncomfortable, but they've gotten it just right. The margin is very little, so that's why I'm emphasizing on that. Steering feel, of course, is bare minimum. Feedback is also bare minimum, but it is precise, it is light, it gets heavier on the highway to a certain extent, and it is confidence inspiring. As you can see, even the slightest movement is turning the car, so that is a good sign that you can get very good responses in situations which can be risky, or having fun around the corners. All of that can be enjoyed quite well in the Skoda Kailak here. The brakes, of course, feel very good enough, and the car comes to a stop very easily. Apart from that, what can I tell you while driving the Kailak? I've told you how easy it is to drive in the city, how stable it is on the highway, how the ride quality exactly is. And that makes me go to the part where I sum up my time with the Skoda Kailak here. It has come after a long wait. The 4-meter SUV from Skoda has taken its time, but it's finally here, and it's a step in the right direction. I can tell you the pricing and everything that is in the car is quite impressive. There are certain things, like I told you while I was explaining the interior, could have been better, but apart from that, as a package, this hits the premium. It comes in the premium space, and it delivers a lot of features. It feels premium, it feels unique, it feels very special, just like any other Skoda VW car, but in its own unique way. So that is one of the reasons why you can definitely consider the Kailak. And we've had a great time driving this car. The interiors have been great, the outer exterior design has been my personal favorite, and we'll spend more time with it in the future and tell you about it. Right now, a thumbs up from our end, because everything comes together really well. A lot of things are tried and tested as well over the years, and Skoda's improving sales, service and spare part strategy seems to be going in the right direction, and that's the reason why the Kailak is expected to do quite well. They've already received 10,000 bookings, and I think that is a number that is set to increase once people get to know more about the Kailak, and once it reaches showrooms, which will happen later in the first week of February for most cities throughout the country. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time in the next video. Until then, goodbye.